This is Phoebe Green and the Locker of Destiny, written and read by me, James Duberne. Chapter 4, The Locker of Destiny. Phoebe was the last to arrive in her room and had been left the bed by the window. That suited her perfectly, as her mother had described having the exact same one with its perfect view of the sea. She was flattered that the other girls had given her the best spot. Olivia told Phoebe not to get distracted by the view. Her belongings should be folded neatly into a wooden trunk and her suitcases stashed under the bed. With that, Olivia left the dorm, and Phoebe immediately got distracted by the view, the room, and her 4 new sisters. Being on the road had shielded Phoebe from lasting friendships, and she intended to make up for it at Perivale. "I'm Marie," said a softly spoken girl with dark braided hair and a beautiful smile. She held out a hand, but Phoebe ignored it and threw her arms around her. "I'm Phoebe," she said, resting her head on Marie's shoulder. The other girls received the same treatment, each of them appearing somewhere between surprised and giggly at Phoebe's friendly greeting. Her roommates were Marie, Charlotte, Poppy, and Elspeth. After many hugs, Phoebe pulled the book of difficult questions from her backpack and sat cross-legged on her bed. One by one, she examined her new roommates and made a sketch. "What are you doing?" asked Elspeth. She had long since finished unpacking and was brushing her hair in the faint reflection of the window. "I have a terrible memory," Phoebe explained, "so I have to create a cheat sheet so I can remember your names." "May I see?" asked Elspeth, shuffling onto the bed alongside Phoebe. "Of course," Phoebe said. "That's you with your gorgeous bob and running shoes." Elspeth's eyes widened. "Why have I got a witch's hat and a broom?" she asked. "Spells! Elspells! Elspeth," Phoebe said. It made perfect sense to her. Elspeth shook her head and resumed her hairbrushing. Marie came over next. "Is that me in a wedding dress?" she asked. "Yes, Mary sounds like Marie," Phoebe said. "And this is you, Poppy. You're a hoppy kangaroo. And Charlotte, you..." Charlotte had joined the others now and was fuming. Literally. "I'm on fire," she said. "Yes," Phoebe said, a little embarrassed. "Charred a lot. Charlotte. Sorry, that was all I could think of." "You are weird," Charlotte said, "and rude." "Yes, I agree. I don't like being a witch, not one bit," Elspeth said. "I don't think you're a witch," Phoebe said, slapping her book shut. "I'm sorry, I just wanted to get your names right." It was too late. The girls returned to their beds and gave each other raised eyebrows, as Phoebe's cheeks turned beetroot red. The room fell silent, but for the sound of hair brushing and the occasional mutter of "a witch" and "married at 11, ugh." Phoebe tore the page from her book and scrunched it into a ball so tight that you could have played cricket with it. She bowled it into the bin. "I didn't mean to offend you," she said. "I just wanted to remember your names. Can we start again?" She stepped out of the door and stood in the hallway. The 4 remaining girls looked at each other with bemusement. There was a knock and Phoebe poked her head in. "Hello, am I in the right place for the new bugs? Dorm 7? The room remained icily silent. Eventually Elspeth sighed, but nodded. Marie broke first, giggling. "Yes, do come in. I'm Mrs. Marie." "Pleased to meet you," Phoebe said politely. "I'm Charlotte," said the next girl. Phoebe put out a hand, but Charlotte did not take it. "I can't, I'm afraid. I'd only burn you." Poppy hopped over like a kangaroo and extended 2 floppy hands, paws down. The girls began to giggle, and Phoebe knew that she was forgiven. Eventually Elspeth took Phoebe's drawing out of the bin and unfurled it. It was the first thing to be pinned on Dorm 7's corkboard. They talked about how difficult their morning had been, and they were relieved to hear that the others had also found it hard. Saying goodbye to their parents was heart-wrenching. Marie admitted that they had all avoided Phoebe's bed because in winter it gets ice cold at the end of the room, since the window is kept open all year round. "How did you know?" Phoebe asked. "My mother went to Perivale," Marie explained. "So did Poppy's." "So did mine," Phoebe said, "but she didn't warn me about the cold window. She said she liked it." I wish I'd known how strict they were about books. I suppose I would know all of the gossip if I had her diary, but it was confiscated. She told the others about how her diary had been taken by Clarissa Harding. Her roommates gasped. "Perhaps you could make a request to our house mistress," suggested Elspeth. "Steal it back," Marie said mischievously. "A heist." "I wish I could," Phoebe said. "I bet it's in her enormous locker. But did you see her golden padlock? I would need more than nail scissors to cut through that." "I set mine to my birthday," said Marie. "Perhaps you could find out Clarissa's locker code and try to hack it." Poppy hopped down from her bunk bed and sat with Phoebe. The sun had almost disappeared beyond the horizon and the sea looked black and foreboding. "Did your mother tell you about the Locker of Destiny?" Poppy said, a glint in her eye. The others gathered round. Phoebe shook her head. Once a girl stepped inside and disappeared, Poppy said in a hushed voice. What do you mean? Asked Elspeth. Nobody knows, Poppy said, clearly enjoying having an audience. That's the great mystery. One minute she was in the hallway, and the next she stepped into the locker and poof! She clapped her hands for effect, displaying the open palms as if to prove the girl had vanished. It's just a silly story, Marie said. My mother said it never happened. Charlotte sniggered. Why would they keep the locker if it was true? If something tragic happened, I doubt very much that the headmistress would want a daily reminder in the hallway. Quite the opposite, Poppy said. The headmistress said it should never be moved and never be locked because one day the girl might come back. Phoebe, it's like when you went out into the hallway and came back again, Marie said. It's quite silly if you ask me, said Elspeth. It's just a tatty old locker. There must be another explanation for the missing girl. Perhaps she ran away and the headmistress made up an outlandish story to avoid admitting that the front door was left wide open. Do you girls believe in magic? Phoebe asked excitedly. As if, Marie said. The others laughed too. Why do you? Of course not, Phoebe said, shaking her head. That's for kids. Says the girl who drew me with my head on fire, Charlotte muttered.